2 weeks ago, we released a video about the Holy Roman Empire as a whole, and how accurately it is portrayed in Crusader Kings. Today, we want to take a closer look at intriguing and fun to play characters within the Empire that are somewhat hidden. So while we covered some of the most prominent Holy Roman dukes and duchesses, like Margravine Matilda of Tuscany, or Duke Vratislav of Bohemia, today we are talking about the characters on a county level who have interesting backstories you can explore in the game, or who have had significance for European history. The Holy Roman Empire in the 1066 start consists of a staggering 172 de jure counties, a number that is second only to the mighty Byzantine Empire in the south. In addition to this, the Holy Roman Empire has plenty of written records and contemporary sources, making it one of the best recorded regions in the High Medieval era. This is not to say that more significant events happened here than elsewhere, but that we just know comparably more about its smallest components than the smaller political entities of Africa and Asia. Thus, it is understandable that within this complex realm, you can find a myriad of characters that have become known through history in their compelling stories, their dynasty's achievements, or simply their existence in a time as fascinating as the 11th century. In this video, we will discover the backstories of some of the lesser known counts and courtiers found in Crusader Kings' Holy Roman Empire. From a gameplay perspective, it is often more fun to begin as an insignificant ruler and work your way up to the top, and here we shall provide a few recommendations from history for you to do so. If there are any characters you would like us to cover in the future, then please let us know in the comments. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. We're at the very beginning of our YouTube journey, so any support you can give us is very much appreciated. The first character we want to talk about is officially unlanded at the start of the game. However, he is the son and heir of the powerful Duke of Lombardy. In addition to this, he is married to the firstborn daughter of Duke Otto of Bavaria, who we covered in our last video. He is also residing in his wife's court, making him an unlanded courtier in Bavaria. If all this does not sound promising enough, he is already portrayed as his own dynasty's house head in the game. We are talking, of course, about Welf, or as he was called in reality, Welf I. The elder house of Welf, who Welf I was allegedly related cognatically through his mother, traced their ancestry back to the 5th century prince Hennegau, not to be confused with a contemporary German supermarket chain. Hennegau was a close confidant of Attila the Hun, and his son Odoacer entered the history books by invading Rome and proclaiming himself King of Italy. The elder Welfs also had family ties with Charlemagne and the Carolingians, so they remained a dominant noble house throughout the early Middle Ages, until in 1055 the last remaining member of the male line of the house died with Welf of Carinthia, who in CK3 is for some reason called Duke Gelf of Carinthia. But if the Welfens' past wouldn't be interesting enough, their future from the perspective of 1066 is just as baffling. Honouring his mother's heritage, young Welf refounded the House of Welf, managing to become Duke of Bavaria after Emperor Heinrich got rid of old Otto II and married his son to our old friend Matilda of Tuscany, despite a significant age gap of 17 years. After some quarrels with the emperor in the 1090s, he managed to pass his domain on to his son, who then became Welf II of Bavaria. The Welfen briefly grasped the title of Holy Roman Emperor in the 13th century, and afterwards remained a major noble house in northern Germany, ruling Göttingen, Lüneburg, and later Brunswick and Hanover. They once again entered the world stage when a member of their cadet branch, Hanover, became King George I of Great Britain and Ireland. Even Queen Victoria was a member of House Hanover and thus a direct descendant of Welf. So let's recap. Since Odoacer inherited Rome by right of conquest, we can use absolutely flawless logic to claim that King Charles and post-Brexit Britain is the true successor to the Roman Empire. Sorry, Finland. But seriously, what you can see with the Welfen is a family at the centre of European power, all the way from Odoacer, who ended the Western Roman Empire in 476, to Queen Victoria in the 19th century. This old Germanic noble family was truly playing the long game. Another comparably small house in 1066 Crusader Kings that has a bright future ahead of itself are the Habsburgs. In the game, they are represented by Count Werner, who rules the county of Aargau. Aargau is a canton in today's northern Switzerland, and Habsburg Castle, after which this dynasty is named, actually still stands here. Habsburg Castle was built in the 1020s by Werner's father, Radbot, which must be the reason why Werner and his father are the first representatives of the Habsburg dynasty in the game. However, historians have actually identified Werner's son Otto, who also exists in Crusader Kings as a 12-year-old kid, as the first ruler to name themselves after their castle, donning the infamous title Habsburg. What is even more wrong than Werner of Aargau being shown as part of the House Habsburg is the noble house's motto in CK3, A-E-I-O-U. This was the infamous Habsburg motto all the way to their rule of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, and it supposedly stands for the Latin phrase Austriae est imperii orbi universo, meaning Austria is to rule the world. Seeing as in 1066 this infant noble house in rural Switzerland was still far away from ruling over Austria, both the premature naming of the house and their motto can be interpreted not as fact, but as clever little Easter eggs paradoxes left for us. Our first character from northern Germany is Prince Bishop Adalbert of Bremen. Archbishop Adalbert, as he was actually referred to, was one of the most influential clerics during the reign of Heinrich III, the 1066 emperor's father. As Adalbert had clerical supremacy over semi-Christianized Scandinavia, he was also referred to as the Vicar of the North. He is correctly portrayed to rule not only Bremen, but also Hamburg, as the two important northern German cities were at that point co-ruled by one bishop. Adalbert was very close to Heinrich III, travelling with him to the Pope in Rome and on Christianization campaigns in the north and east. However, as we have heard in the last video, when Heinrich III died, Archbishop Anno of Cologne superseded him by making himself regent of the young boy. I wonder if there was a personal rivalry between these two priests.
They've come a long way, and I know they're eager to start.
To the east of this clerical domain lies the Duchy of Lausitz. This is ruled by Duke Dado of the Wettin dynasty. Although a duchy, this is a very minor realm within the empire compared to the rich and powerful duchies of Bavaria, Swabia or Bohemia. As you can see, Duke Dado has an alliance with the promising Babenberg Duke of Austria by marriage of his daughter to Ernst, and he has a claim on the neighbouring duchy of Meissen, which historically the Wettin dynasty took over. This is a very interesting yet often overlooked starting position with historical relevance. In the far northwest of the empire, at the French border, you will find Countess Richilde Regenaudochter, ruling the county of Hennegau. Richilde, whose historical ancestry is quite blurry, was co-regent of the County of Hennegau, together with her husband Boudewijn, or Baldwin, who was in 1066 just about to inherit the Duchy of Flanders. Richilde's first husband, Hermann of Mons, Count of Hennegau, died in 1050, and left her as the heiress of Hennegau. As an unmarried countess, she understandably was an attractive bride. This prompted the neighbouring duke, Boudewijn's father, also called Boudewijn, to threaten to invade and depose her unless she remarried his son and heir. The Boudewijns were a romantic bunch. Richilde and Boudewijn had 3 children, and her new husband inherited the Duchy of Flanders in 1067. He died in 1070, leaving Richilde as regent of Flanders, and was to remain in power until their son Arnulf came of age. But before this could happen, her second husband's brother, Robert I of Flanders, successfully ousted her, and until her death, she and her family tried, and failed, to recover her lost title. The House of Wittelsbach was a major German noble house from the High Middle Ages all the way up to the 20th century. They had their roots in Bavaria, where the dynasty ruled all the way from 1180 to 1918. Apart from Bavaria, throughout their history, members of the dynasty ruled over other major European lands, such as the Palatinate, Holland, Sweden, Denmark, Norway, Hungary, and Greece. They traced their heritage back to Count Otto I of Cheyenne, who died in 1072, and his son Otto II, who acquired the castle of Wittelsbach. However, when we tried to find the famous Wittelsbach family in 1066 Crusader kings, we could not find them anywhere. This was despite us remembering that there once was a Wittelsbach count. Some research into the historical archives of Reddit resolved our confusion. Apparently, in an earlier version of CK3, there actually was a Wittelsbach count. Count Otto II of Rothenburg, one of the vassals of the Duke of Bavaria and member of House Babenberg. This is the same Otto I we just mentioned, and thus the earliest Wittelsbach count known to us, which is reflected in Crusader Kings in the fact that when you play as him, he immediately has the decision available to create a cadet branch. According to our research in this incredibly complex genetic issue, it is quite a stretch to define Otto as being part of the Babenberg dynasty. Although the Wittelsbachers and Babenbergers probably shared common ancestors through the Luit-Polding dynasty, Otto was likely born into the House of Schweinfurt, who was by contemporaries referred to as Otto of Cheyenne, and later founded the House of Wittelsbach. This is a similar situation as what we had with Werner of Habsburg, as both dynasties were in their infancy, so the solution for the developers would have been to keep Otto of Wittelsbacher. The Babenberg family tree in the game is bloated enough as it is. What is your favourite minor character in Crusader Kings' depiction of the Holy Roman Empire? Are there any fascinating anecdotes you know that we may have missed? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more history in bits.